Hey everyone, it's Andy, a cloudy milder, your self-crowned metal mogul. We're gonna cover my 2021 purchases, both new releases and reissues that came out this year. It's not a ranking video. I don't think I've really picked up enough to do much of a definitive ranking video, certainly if not of new releases. And they're all of slightly different styles, and I struggle to compare hard rock to metal to thrash to blackened speed metal, because it all depends on the mood I'm in when I listen to it. They could all be number one at any point in time. So what I'm going to do is, this video is really kind of split into three sections. I've got a couple of non-metal releases. I'm going to put those in first. It won't take long, don't worry. Then I'm going to cover the new releases from 2021 that I've picked up in the order that I picked them up, chronological order. And then I'm going to cover the reissues that came out in 2021 that made their way into my collection. I've probably picked up more reissues in 2020. Well, I've definitely picked up more reissues in 2021 than new releases, I'm pretty sure of that. But I've definitely picked up less new releases in 2021. I've been a little bit more picky. In fact, this year I've picked up less new releases than any of the last 5 years, quite easily. So let's jump in. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to be, but there's a lot to get through. So let's dive in. So one of my favourite bands, The Wedding Present. So this is the non-metal section, obviously. This is a collection locked down and stripped back of semi-acoustic hits, really, that The Wedding Present have done, that they re-recorded during lockdown in 2020 and released it as an album. This is absolutely fantastic. It's got some of my favourite songs on here, like A Million Miles, You Should Always Keep in Touch With Your Friends, Granada Land, My Favourite Dress, California. It's good, but it's really, I guess, one for the die-hard fan, and so they're my top 5 favourite bands, as is the Manic Street Preachers. This is their new release this year, the Ultra Vivid Lament. This one came out in May. And it's a return to form for them, I think. It reminds me a little bit of This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours. Some great songs on here, especially the collaboration songs, The Secret He Had Missed and Black Diary Entry, which has got Mark Lanigan on the vocals as well. Again, one of my top 5 favourite bands. And then the last couple of non-metal, really. Ramones, Triple J Live at the Wireless. This is a Record Store Day release that Darcy, Six String Side Lives, sent me, which was a fantastic piece of VCLT. It's a great show. The thing I particularly like about it is it's recorded from 1980, and most of the bootlegs and Ramones live albums that you get are all from the 70s and covering the first 3 or 4 albums. The last one from a non-metal perspective is the 30th anniversary 2LP reissue remastered version of Sea Monsters by, again, The Wedding Present. And this is really cool because it not only has it got the full album spread over 3 discs, but it also has a number of the singles and peel sessions that were released at the time as well. I saw The Wedding Present play this album in the entirety back in November, one of the first gigs that I went back to after lockdown. In fact, the first 2 gigs I went to after lockdown were The Wedding Present and Manic Street Preachers, so it was amazing for me, certainly, to see 2 of my favourite bands straight after the lockdown and gigs started up again. But definitely looking forward to going in and seeing a lot more metal in 2022, although it doesn't look good at this moment in time, but we shall see. Right, let's move on to the new rock and metal releases that I picked up in 2021. Now, I didn't pick up anything new between January and April. The first new releases that came into my collection were actually VCLT from Jim. The first one being Pounder, Breaking the World. This is great. I mean, this is very much new wave of traditional heavy metal. It's 80s inspired. It's got a little bit of everything in there. You can tell by the hype sticker. It says inspired by new wave of British heavy metal with hints of early 80s speed metal, Sunset Strip Flash, and AOR accessibility. And it is kind of all of those. It's not an album that's so much that flows from song to song and everything's the same. There are one or two songs that do kind of stand out as being different from the others, but it's a good album. I believe this is the three guys in here, Tom Draper, Matt Harvey, and Alejandro Corridor, are all from different backgrounds, and they've kind of put together more of a traditional heavy metal sound. Now, Tom Draper I've heard of. He's been in a few of the British new wave of traditional heavy metal bands, like Primitai, to name one. But that's a good release, and one that I almost forgot about. What I did forget about, actually, again, this was the same VCLT package. So this is Sinbad by Coronary. Coronary are a Finnish metal band, and this is superb. I completely forgot about this one and didn't realise it was a 2021, and so I was going back through my catalogue, saw it there and thought, I've got to give that one another spin because I do not remember what it sounds like, and I'm so glad I did. I have played this one a lot over the last 2 weeks when I was listening just to the 2021 releases. Coronary they're a bit like Early Accept. The vocals are on the Dirk Schneider scale, but certainly not a copy of him at all. But if you like Early Accept, I think you'll probably like Coronary. It's a really, really good album, this one. I'm glad I actually went back and revisited. Still in April, 13th of April, Night Tide, Tides and Distant Skies made it to my collection. Now, this one could have been in the reissues list for 2021, but it's a 2020 release, but the first final release was in 2021, and I grabbed this as soon as I could. I have all the Night albums. I think there are 4 of them so far, and High Tides, Distant Skies is a fantastic add to that collection. Very sort of 70s inspired hard rock. Very cool. Next up, Evil, Hell Unleashed made its way into the collection. This was at the end of April. New lineup for Evil, and I'm a big fan of the other Drake brothers vocals. It's not that old Drake has bad vocals. If Evil had always had these vocals, I probably would have liked this a lot more, but it's taken me a bit of time to get into it. It doesn't necessarily feel like an Evil album to me, although the music is absolutely spot on. But it's not that old Drake's vocals are bad. They're not bad by any means. They're great thrash metal vocals. It's not the Evil sound that I have grown to love. Some Scottish metal one-man outfit, Oath SC, Computer Warrior, Steve Waddell. He's also in Tantrum, which have kind of reformed again in 2021, got themselves a new singer, so looking forward to hearing any releases that they come up with in the next year. They have released a single recently, but this is Oath. It is very melodic heavy metal. It's on Church Recordings, which is Trevor William Church from Haunts label. He plays the drums on this one, and certainly if you like bands like Haunt, then you'll like Oath SC. Moving into June, that's when the latest Halloween album was released. Obviously the reunification, first studio album with Hanson and Kiske back in the mix. Wasn't blown away by it. It's a great album. I know a lot of people were blown away, and it's maybe their favourite album of the year, but I've played it a few times and I've revisited, and I've always enjoyed it every time I've played it. There are a few annoying moments on here for me, Some of the songs are just too cheesy, like Best Time. Mass Pollution doesn't do much for me. But songs like Skyfall, Cyanide, Robot King, Rise Without Chains, I like as well. So it's a great album. I elected not to go for it on vinyl because I didn't think it was what I would spin that often, and I'm more than happy just to have it on CD. Excuse me. Some more Kai Hansen. 2020 was the 30th anniversary of Gamma Ray, and they had to do their 30th anniversary concert behind closed doors, and this is a recording of it. This is the CD and DVD version. It's a fantastic recording. It sounds brilliant. The live DVD is worth watching, but it's very strange watching a live show with no audience and no applause at the end of the each of the songs. But if you like Gamma Ray and you're a big fan like me, it's got all their big hits on here, and it has a few guests as well. Ralph Sheepers, who was the singer on the first few Gamma Ray albums, he makes a guest appearance on a few of the tracks too. It's got Kai Hansen sings a lot of the early vocals, and obviously the new vocalist Frank Beck is also on here as well, and complements Kai Hansen's singing really well. So Gamma Ray XXX, I have everything from Gamma Ray on CD, so I had to get that one. Moving down to August, Bewitcher, Cursed Be Thy Kingdom. I stumbled across this. I don't know if it was on Bandcamp or just hearing it on YouTube, but this is fantastic. This is just a good, fun speed metal with blackened vocals. Brilliant stuff. One thing I love about this cover is it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Halloween album cover that's kind of been a little bit damned. But superb artwork and a fantastic album. This is a real, put this on and it's a real fist pump from start to finish. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Never heard of Bewitcher before, so that was one that could really came in collection. If I was to rank these albums, then Portraits at One With None would be very, very high on the list. In fact, I would hazard a guess to say this is probably one of my favourite sort of straight up traditional heavy metal songs of the year, albums of the year. Ashen, fantastic song, again another brilliant album cover. But Portrait, Swedish heavy metal. This band just get better and better with every single release. Moving into September, and Senjutsu hit us. I bought this on CD. I actually bought the EMP lenticular version as well because it was super cheap, and one of those albums that now is not super cheap, so it's good invest in that one. But of course I had to get it on vinyl. Now I am very much an Iron Maiden fan with rose tinted spectacles, a lot like Eddie has here. I knew what I was getting when I bought this. It did kind of annoy me the number of people on videos that were, their comments of this were, it's too long, but have you not heard an Iron Maiden album since the year 2000? They have got progressively longer and longer and longer. So what, this is like 83 minutes. It's a grower. I liked it when I first heard it, and I made a video just on my first listen. And I picked out some things there I didn't like. Some of those I've changed my mind on. Certainly the songs that I like I've changed my mind on a bit. But I have invested time with this album. Yes, it's 83 minutes, but if you've got the time to spare, sit down and listen to it. And yes, some of the intros are too long, some of the outros are too long, and some of the songs have intros and outros, and it could have been a shorter album, but I'm happy to take on board whatever it is they want to throw at me. I know it's not going to be an 80s album revisited. They haven't done, they've been doing this style of metal longer than they've been doing the 80s stuff, releasing it certainly. So this is real. Since year 2000, 21 years, we've not had a Galloping Iron Maiden album, so why anyone expected they might do that this time around, I don't know. But I really like it. It's not a 10 out of 10 album by any means, but I've enjoyed it and I keep going back to it, and I've played it quite a lot. So give it another go, give it another 2 or 3 goes, but just take the time to enjoy it. I think it is well worth the investment of your time. Okay, couple of CDs next. These both came out on the same day, and one of them actually took. Let's listen to this first. So, Toledo Steel, Heading for the Fire. Pre-order for this went up in October 2020, and I jumped on it. Due to various things with COVID and what have you, it didn't actually get released until the 22nd of October 2021, so about a year. It also has a song called The Writings on the Wall, but very different from the Maiden one. This is solid, traditional heavy metal, done really well, and I love Toledo Steel. I've got everything that they've done, and I really hope that when bands can start touring the UK again, they come back up to Scotland, because I would love to see these guys again in concert. Also on the same day, and this probably would be my number one, is Seven Sisters, Shadow of a Fallen Star Part 1. Good 9.5 out of 10 album for me. Again, a band that just seems to get better and better with every release. Superb. Both Toledo Steel and Seven Sisters, I have pre-orders for the vinyl, but they're not going to be out until about April next year, so I'm really looking forward to getting those two in. Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen. I didn't jump on this album, which is why I think it probably came out about 6 months earlier, but I picked this up at the end of October. I didn't think too much of it when I heard a couple of the singles that were released, so decided not to pull the trigger. Then the price came down on Amazon, I revisited it, and I thought, you know what, I actually quite like this album a lot. Certainly songs like Taking My Chances, Scars are two fantastic tracks, and it's a bit flimsy because I just realised it's still on the deck at the moment, so the vinyl's not in here, but I played it again yesterday and today, and it really is growing on me. It's a really, really good album. Of course, nothing like Iron Maiden, everyone said that in their reviews, and that's the whole point, isn't it? They're off doing something a little bit different, and putting their own twist on the music that they love. So there we go. That was the last new vinyl that I picked up of the year. What we have been listening to in the background, just flip it over, is Bang to Right's Heavy Sentence, one I showed in a recent update. This is great, kind of, again, speed metal, slightly blackened vocals, more of a gruff Lemmy, should we say, but superb release from this year. Heavy Sentence, Bang to Right's UK traditional metal speed band. November, I picked up Northtail, Eternal Flame. This is their second album, the first album that I had come across from them. It's power metal in the vein of Halloween. In fact, Kai Hansen and his son both appear on, is it Future Calls or Wings of Salvation? I think it's Future Calls. Hansen does vocals and plays guitar on that. His son does the solos. That's really what kind of attracted me to it, to check them out, and I'm glad I did. There's a lot of guitar noodling in here, but it's power metal I can palate. Whereas a lot of power metal I just find a little bit not to my taste. Excellent stuff. Northtail. And the last new release of the year that I picked up, which I picked up in November through recommendations from Kevin Wargod and Bev. This is Eldvarg One Man Army, and it is a one man army. It's another one man Scottish band. There seem to be quite a few of them at the moment, but again, this is great epic style heavy metal, and it's just done really, really well, and a great first effort from I can't remember his name now. It's in there. I'll figure it out. Look at one of my other videos and you'll see. But Eldvarg, and that was the last new release of 2021 that I picked up. Now, moving on to the reissues, how we do the time. I did think about maybe splitting this, but let's go through the reissues fairly quickly, and then I can get this done and dusted within the one video. So back in January, I jumped on a couple of Dio reissues, especially Holy Diver. I have all the 80s Dio albums on OG, and didn't necessarily want to double up, but Holy Diver is an exception, and that was a excellent reproduction. Sounds fantastic. Also in January I picked up Strange Highways. I've never owned this one before, and this is a superb Dio album, originally released in 1993. Ooh, dear, what have I done? Okay, so the last Dio. So this was April, I think I picked this one up, and it is Evil or Divine. Again, I got it for a great price. Although it's the version that says it comes with the lenticular 3D album art, but it didn't come with it. And I don't know if that's why I got it cheap. It was sealed, so it wasn't that somebody had taken it out. It just didn't come with it. But I can live with that for the price I paid for it. Always happy to get more Dio on vinyl in the collection. Some more Seven Sisters. This time it was released earlier on in the year. This is Echoes of a Distant Time. This is their first couple of releases, well, their demo tape and their first 7-inch single that have been reissued on a 12-inch vinyl. Very sort of rough and ready first 4 tracks that they did. I believe they originally 2 guitarists got together to just do some jamming, and they got a singer in, and they did a demo, and that was such good reception that they decided to make a fist of it. That was originally in 2014, and Lost in Time, their first single, was 2015. That was the more of the modern sounding or up to date, current sounding Seven Sisters with Carl McNeil on vocals. But it was I will grab anything Seven Sisters, so I had to grab that one. As well, I had to grab Hellripper, Coagulating Darkness. This came out. I've got my dates down here, and they may well be the dates that I actually pre-ordered them, rather than actually they were released into my collection. But back in April, I put this one on for pre-order from Diabolic Might Records, and I have this on tape and CD already, but I wanted it on vinyl. The only one I'm missing is Complete and Total Fucking Mayhem, which is getting re-released in the pre-order is actually up now on Diabolic Might Records, but it's not coming out until about May next year. I'm going to grab a copy from James McBain's the Hellripper Bandcamp, because the postage will be so much cheaper. Night Demon. Finally, their EP landed in my collection, courtesy of Bev at Clark Division. She sent me this as VCLT, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, this thing has been re-released many times. Originally, I think it was maybe 2015 or so, but this is the 2021 repress. Just a reminder, so all these I'm showing they're reissues, but they were reissued in 2021. There's a host of other stuff I picked up in 2021, which I'm not going to show because it was from all sorts of years. Hydrovane released not one, but their first 2 albums this year on back on Black, and I only really wanted this one, but I got sucked into the pre-order of both. A little bit pricey, but I knew I would have been upset if I just got the one, not the other. But it was really rather Death and False of Faith that I wanted. That's the full length album with a bonus 12-inch, and then this is more of a mini album with 6 tracks on it, both on fancy coloured vinyl. Hydrovane being UK thrash, one of the better UK thrash bands out there. Another fantastic UK thrash band. For whose advantage, the second release from Zentrix, music on a vinyl, reissued that this year, and I got hold of a copy of it around August. Shattered Existence has just been announced. It is on pre-order as well, so really looking forward to finally getting that one on vinyl next year. Absolute Power, great traditional heavy metal. Now these guys that make up this band are all from sort of extreme metal bands. Shane Embry of Napalm Death, and there's another Napalm Death guy in here as well. This is them doing traditional heavy metal and doing it really, really well. This is a great album. Again, this was courtesy of VCLT from Jim Davis, and a couple more to go. Again, more VCLT. I've been very, very fortunate this year. 2 albums I never expected to get. The 2021 reissues from Forbidden Evil and Twisted into Form. I think these were not released in the UK. There's been a few reissues that have gone on this year which didn't get a UK release. So I thought I'd missed the boat, and they were incredibly expensive because I have to get them on import. But Darcy, he pulled out all the stops and completely surprised me with those. And the last pickup of the year, reissue wise, I showed an unboxing video of this recently. I'm not going to get it all out again, but this is the Overkill, the Atlantic Years box, 1986 to 1994, with those first 6 albums. I think this sounds pretty good. I mean, a lot of people have maybe complained a little bit about how the sound is different maybe from some of the OGs. I don't have OGs to compare them against, and from my experience, often remasters always seem just a little bit quieter. But what do I know? What I do know is that is 2021 done and dusted from my pickups perspective. I know I've probably missed out a ton that you may think are great. So let me know in the comments what you think I should have picked up in 2021. Let me know which of these that you maybe you picked up, or maybe you wished you'd picked up, or will in fact go ahead and pick up now because I've told you how great they are. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for the support over the last year. I'm still going to keep doing these videos as long as I'm enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. And I wish everybody a very happy new year, and we'll see you again in 2022. Thanks for watching.